Okay, I think we're pretty well gathered. I would first of all like to thank everybody for coming out to this. For those of you who are watching online, if you have any comments or you would like to add anything to the missional action plan, please, you can either email myself or you can put it on screen and Frank will let us know later on and we will add it on to our comments that we have during this session. I would like to have someone volunteer to read our opening prayer, please. To read our opening prayer, please. Okay. Thank you.
Sorry. Living God, bless this gathering that through listening and discussing, your will may be done and your mission embraced. May our dreaming be creative and hope-filled, and may we carefully hold the space so others may safely dream. May the pathway we discern allow all to flourish in this amazing life you call us into, through the way of Jesus, the wisdom of the Spirit, and your unconditional and abiding love. Amen.
As the first of a three-pronged approach to developing a parish mission action plan, this group has gathered to discuss the current context of adult faith formation in the parish and to brainstorm ways to broaden and deepen the discipleship path for parishioners. For people new to the parish and for people who are interested in becoming familiar with what motivates you as a parish, those ideas will develop traction with the group, the nucleus of the faith formation portion of the initial parish map. I thought because we have a new priest, everybody should maybe stand up and just introduce themselves. Just a very quick introduction as to your name and maybe how long you have been in the parish. So we'll start with Christine and then we'll go across and then across and across and across. Lynn, we'll go to you and then go back. Yeah. Paul? Betty? Yep. Yep. Marcy? What's your name? What's your name? Wow. Thank you very much. Thank you. Welcome all. Oh, I'm Barry, sorry. I'm Barry Shimmons. I am the facilitator for this MAP meeting. Same as Frank. Frank's my husband. We've been here about a year and a half. There we go. Okay. Oh, sorry. Oh. Oh, thank you. Okay, have I got everybody? Okay, thank you very much. Now what we'll do is we'll go through the parish, the norms, the group norms for the parish map gatherings. I gave you that, each one of you have a sheet. So I will read through them, and then if there's any additions you would like or any conversation, please let me know and we'll take that on. So first of all, we come in a spirit of openness and anticipation, knowing that Jesus is present when two or more are gathered in his name. Listen to others with respect. Seek first to understand, not to be understood. Allow space for quietness, for quieter or less extroverted participants to contribute. Listen more than you speak. Don't challenge or criticize the contributions of others, but do ask questions of clarification if you're unclear about something that has been said. Be honest. We can name our aspirations, but we must claim our reality, seeing where we are so we can hear where God is calling us next. Any questions? Any additions? Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm going to, first of all, how many of you looked at and hopefully filled out the snapshot that was taken that was sent out with regards to our first gathering of adult faith formation? Not a bad average, not a bad average. As we said in the email, it's not a test. You're not going to be marked on it. You're not going to be graded. It's just to kind of get you thinking as to what adult faith formation in this parish would look like. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions. Janet is going to write down any responses that you give. So later on, we can look at those responses and see how important they are to this congregation and what part it will be with regards to our total MAP process. Sorry. So the first question is, as you completed the adult faith formation tool, what struck you about faith formation in our parish? Now there is a microphone up here, so if you have any thoughts, could you please come up and use the microphone so that everybody can hear your thoughts, please? I thought it was on.
Why do I come here every week? I come here every week to listen. I really like paying attention to the three lessons, and I love hearing how they connect with the sermon. And then I take that home and sit with it and try and use it in my life. So learning is why I'm here. One of the things that I miss and have started doing, a long, long time ago, we had small groups in homes. And I have really missed that. And since my life has been in a bit of upheaval, I decided, okay, Christine, you got the whole summer off. What the heck are you going to do to keep you happy? So far I've had 2, but I'm working on a 3rd, and probably every month I'm going to invite a number of women so far, but I'm happy to have men as well, come to my home. We'll have a cup of tea and coffee, maybe a bite to eat, and I will have prepared something for us to discuss. So that's kind of like the small group learning we did way back at Maddie's home, Maddie and Marilyn's home way back, and that started my healing group that went on for 25 years that helped us through life.
Anybody else? Yep, Maureen, yep.
I came to this church 7 or 8 years ago. Have I not switched it on? It's on. Hold it closer. How's that? Is that
Better.
better? I was raised in a family that was very church-going, Irish Catholic, and I was brought up with the ritual and the sacraments. But as I got older and went through life changes and life experience, I found that I just simply couldn't live up to the unreal expectations of the Catholic Church. So I moved over to St. Paul's, but I found it lacked ritual and ceremony. So 7 or 8 years ago, I landed up here at St. James. And what a wonderful combination of ritual, ceremony, community, and good Christian ethics. I really like the fact that we reach out and help people. More and more is there need. More and more is there a need for us to help people feed their families, clothe their children. The more we do that, the more Christian we are. So I was attracted to this church by the Christian ethics, the ritual, but the liberal acceptance of others and others' differences, and the lack of judgment. So God bless St. James.
Thank you.
I agree with Christine about small groups. I think they're really important. What I would like is more small groups of Bible study that are studying the gospel or the readings for the following week, so that when we come, then we have a larger understanding of the meaning of the Bible readings. That is my feeling, and I feel that they need to be in fairly small groups, if possible, eight, and then perhaps they split at that point. But that's my feeling, and I really feel strongly about the virtual, that is included for the shut-ins or just plain people that aren't coming. Okay.
Barry, am I correct that right now we're supposed to be describing the parish as it exists as opposed to our dreams? No, that's okay. I'm just clarifying.
Yeah, yep.
So we're supposed to describe the parish. No, I would say that this is these ideas are. I think what we're supposed to be doing right now is describing the parish as it is. Is that correct,
Yes,
Barry?
that's right, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, faith formation.
And
Yep.
so what we're doing is actually part of what we're supposed to do later. And so some of these things are what we need to do is put them in a parking lot, because
Yes.
these are the action statements that come at the end. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's sort of 4 questions that we're supposed to answer. I think you read them, Barry. Shall I read them again?
I've just read the first one.
Okay.
Yeah,
So as you completed the adult faith formation tool, what struck you about faith formation in our parish?
yeah.
So, and I guess that's in a way.
No,
No,
that's fine.
these are important
That's-
comments. There's
yeah,
nothing.
that's right, yeah.
This is very good stuff.
Yep.
Very good.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yep. Okay, what the question is what, it relates back to the snapshot that I sent out. And it's basically the snapshot tool, and it's basically what struck you about faith formation in our parish.
And it had a lot to do about sharing how we share our faith outside the context of the
That's right.
church.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So outside the context of the church.
Right.
Can I speak to it for a second?
Yes, you can.
No, I think I'll leave it with you. No.
Yep.
These are extremely good ideas, and I think they'll be part of the plan we come to at the end. It's interesting, the first two people named sort of similar small group ideas, so I think that's something that there's a lot of interest for. When I completed the tool, I felt like internally we support each other very well, but it's very hard to talk to other people. I find it very hard to talk to other people who don't come to church about my faith. And that was one of the questions, like, can you talk to other people? Can you talk to people on the street and so forth about your faith? And that, I find that very hard to do. I think in some ways we keep what we do here a good secret.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anybody else? Yep, Victoria, yep.
Sorry, I didn't do the Snapchat thing. It was a last-minute decision to come. I've always found Sundays here to be very refreshing and renewing for each week. And the community that we have here, I've always found very open and accepting and very supportive of each other. And I think that that is one of the biggest things in a faith community, is to be open and accepting and supportive. And I think that's something that is done very well here at St. James.
Jackie? And then Mary can come up, yep.
I guess my answer is very simple. I feel that St. James has a great deal of love, and we feel like a family. And the thing that I love the most is that we care about outside, and we have so much outreach. And that's what brought me to St. James, and that's what keeps me there.
Mary?
I'd like to say that outreach is what brought me here, but I was here before I knew you had such wonderful outreach. And I love the energy that's in this church. I like the space of this church. It's so bright, it's so light. I like that the children are not separated by walls when they are part of the service. I know they go downstairs or wherever they go. I don't know where they go for part of the service, but it's this inclusivity that I like so much here. And I like the fact that when I leave here, I'm joyful. And I've come from a church where I didn't feel like that at the end of each service. So I feel as though I've come home. I've lived in 4 different countries and never been in a church for all those years that so many of you have. And I feel that this is my home now. And I want you to know how incredibly impressed I was the first Sunday I was here. At least 7 people introduced themselves to me, asking me if I was visiting, I'm just here for the service today, things like that. And it's very difficult. We were fully masked at that time, and to remember people's names when all you see is their eyes and their hair is very difficult. So in spite of all those things, I'm very happy to be here. And when I found out about the outreach that you do from here, I was even more impressed. And thank you all for having me here.
Anybody else? Yes. Sorry?
I found St. James through kind of looking all over for church spires. I came from Chatham to here, and the churches weren't on the main street, so I'm looking for these things. So I somehow found my way down to this area and moved along, and I was looking for an Anglican church because that's somehow where I ended up. And the question for me was for choosing a church was how inclusive it was, because I was gay and I knew it was difficult. When you get a lot of rejection, and even in the church. So those of you who know Donna, my partner, who is gone now, we talked to the clergy, which at that time was Jim, Sanderland, and Nichols. Sue Nichols, yeah. And so we just were very frank with them that we were looking for a church, but we were looking for where we could sit and worship and feel safe and feel comfortable. And they told us that the church had just finished voting on the issue of gays. And also, I think at that time it was about marriage and things. And anyway, they said to us, the church was unanimous in accepting gays and accepting the struggle for what their rights could be within the church. So that sounded pretty good. So we came, and as I said, 2002, and we've been here ever since. And I can say without question that the acceptance and the love of this church was just immense and wonderful for us. Because a gay person, you don't always find a lot of acceptance.
Thank you. Yep, Bob?
I think that one of the things we have to reflect on as a parish is leadership. And when the bishop gave us Leslie to interview, I was absolutely thrilled, because I think she is going to follow in the leadership which has been in this parish for the last 53 years that I've been here. And I think that we are a product of that leadership, which has brought us openness, sharing, and diversity. And when we were doing the parish questionnaire to see what we were looking for in a new rector, all of this came through, that we were such a diverse parish, and I think that's shown us here this morning. And we have been absolutely blessed, and we are products of that leadership, even if you've only been here for 2 weeks, okay?
There we go. Okay, I think we're going to move on to our next question, and that is, and some of it has been answered already. What are we doing as a parish that is currently deepening your own faith? And I think we've touched on it a bit with the first question, but if there's something that someone wants to add on with regards to what has been previously said, please.
As those of you that know me know, that two of the things that mean the most to me here at St. James is the community dinner, where we prepare 48 meals every Monday and hand them out. To many of those meals go to people who have not eaten all day long, and that may be their only hot meal for the week. And sometimes it's to just people that need a little extra help to get through the week. There are 5 churches that have joined together here in Dundas to prepare those meals. For me, it's meeting the people that we're handing out the meals to, but it's also meeting the people from the other 4 churches, some of whom I have become, I can honestly say, good friends with now. friends that I would never have made any other way. But I love the fact that all the meals are passed out right here at St. James. The other, and right now Lynn and I are very weighed down with it, are the refugees. But there's no words to describe when we know that a new family has just arrived at Pearson Airport and come through customs after we've read their stories of horror, and we know that their lives are threatened if we don't get them out of wherever they're coming from. And right at the moment, we have 3 applications that have all been accepted, and Lynn and I are working on last-minute quarantine rules, quarantine plans in order to get 9 people here, hopefully before the 1st of December, but we can never guarantee that. At the same time, we're helping St. George's Guelph to support another family that we can't because the family is in Guelph and we're not. So St. George's has taken that one and we're backing them up just with paperwork. And Lynn and I are now in the process of preparing 2 other family applications, or 3. I've lost count. That, to me, when we're talking about getting outside the walls of the church, those are the programs that bring me to St. James.
It's already on. So for me, I was away from the church for a little while and I came back and started getting involved with church school with the children. So that means a lot to me. It also helped me with my faith, helping with the community dinners. I think over the past 2 years when we've been doing the meals here and all the churches have come together, like Nora says, it's nice to build relationships with people from the other churches and have discussions with them and just get to know them. I think it's been very good for the whole community meal ensemble of people. So I think it'll even be different when we go back to our own churches because we built so many individual relationships. Anyways, those are the 2 things that mean a lot to me. Just helping other people, I think, was ingrained in me from my parents for some reason. Anyways, so, I mean, I can remember as a kid, my mom would be baking. We weren't allowed to touch it. We go, why not? It's for the church. I was like, oh, okay. Anyways, I kind of get it better now that I'm grown up, but anyways, I like that we do so much to help other people.
Anne, and then, yep.
Well, it's such a great segue that I have to mention something about this business of everybody working together. And Lynn and Nora have talked about the community dinners. They've talked about reaching out to the church in Guelph. So this church not only looks at things that are local, they look at things beyond. They look at things that need help in Dundas, Food Bank. They look at things that need help in Hamilton, Greater City, St. Matthew's House. They look beyond. And through this, those churches work together, the Association of Dundas Churches. And I cannot help but mention this to you. Back in 2011, the Association of Dundas Churches was at a very weak area, very weak. It was St. James that pulled that together. Similarly, we're at another crossroads with Norma Coe, who has offered to take on chair. We're at another low here now, where the churches are not providing the lay representatives to the Association of Churches. Within this congregation, we have spirit, we have action, we have passion to make things move forward locally, provincially, and federally. That means we have to get involved in advocacy. So when you get that next request to write a letter to protect our farmlands, to protect those things that are precious to our generations to come, respond as St. James has always done and will continue to do. God bless you all.
Advocacy. Jackie, I think Jackie had her hand up first. Sorry. Leslie, sorry. No, advocacy, is fine. Yep. We'll take another question for after. We'll take one to Leslie. Oh, the mic's over there, Jackie. Yep. And then we'll move on to our next question.
Just a quick thing I really wanted to mention is the amazing things that we do with education. I remember, when Maddie and Carol used to do those workshops, and having the opportunity to go to the Education for Ministry, and some of the things we've done for the mission. Like, education to me is wonderful, because it's a way of growing and learning, and even with the Truth and Reconciliation, all the ways we've tried to teach people things. And so we learn so much too. And so I didn't want to miss that, because it's really important.
Yep.
These have been some amazing things that I'm hearing. And I was thinking and reflecting on our faith in action, and how there's so many things that are done here in the community. And so clearly there's faith formation happening because of the action that takes place. So I wanted to kind of step back and think about faith formation and how I've been formed. It doesn't speak necessarily to St. James, but EFM is one of the things that that I grew exponentially in that program and taking that program. And so, Jackie, education, very important. And I think it's so important that my faith continue to evolve. So it's important to continue to nourish and grow in our faith. God's never done with us. We're always learning. And so anything we can do to, whether it's small groups or Revive is another thing that I'm a champion of. All of these things that help us to grow in our faith and be comfortable to share our story with the stranger. Those things are really important to me.
Thank you. Yep, Carol, yep, and then we'll move on to our next question. Yep, that's fine, Carol, yep.
Richard is too much of a gentleman to blow his own horn, so I'll have to do it for him. I think when it comes to deepening our faith and faith formation, music is a really important part of that. We read in the Bible how in heaven there's continuous music. All the creatures in heaven never stop singing to God in heaven. So music is really close to our hearts, and I think both the music and the words can often give us something to think about, which might lead us to deepening our faith. I think that's a weekly thing that happens here, and I thank Richard very much for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. We'll move on to our next question, and it's and I'm going to ask you to use just one word. I should put my glasses on. What are our discipleship strengths in one word? Sorry? Caring, yeah. Sharing. Caring and sharing. Listening. Welcome. Kindness. Sorry? Doing. Loving. Yes, flexibility, yeah. Mentoring. Acceptance. Okay, we'll let Janet. Oh, yeah. Acceptance, yeah. Yeah. I can't hear you, Anne, sorry. Okay. Anything else? Yep. Oh, sorry. Commitment? Yeah, we got that. I think that. Sorry? Yep. Anything else? Bob? Supportive? Yep. Hopeful? Yep. Yep. Outreach, yep. Thoughtful? Pretty good list. It does. Anything else? Okay, we'll just put Auntie Jill up there. Oops. Yeah, beautiful, yep. Yeah, beautiful services, yep. Yep. Liturgy, yep. Sermons. Sermons. I can't say anything. I should write all my answers down and then just hold up a sheet. Cooperative. I think we got quite a few there. Nurturing. Okay, I think what we'll do is move on to our next question, if that's okay. Okay. just wait for Janet to get caught up here a bit. You wouldn't be able to read mine if I was up there. Okay, the next question is, where are our growing edges in faith forming? What do we see little of in our parish? And again, if you could maybe keep it to 1 or 2 words. Repeat the question? Yes. Yep. Where are our growing edges in faith forming? What do we see little of in our parish? So what can we do, more? And you have to remember that, I'll put my own 2 words in, we're looking at our community. We're not looking at worldwide outreach. We're looking at what we can do within our community. And not only Dundas, but within Hamilton itself. So what are we not doing enough of to help out in our local community? In faith formation. Yes, in faith formation. Sorry. Yep. Just to clarify. Yep. I went a bit off script there, but. More Bible study? Yeah. Yes, yeah. Small groups, yes. Yep. Yep. What other communities can we help? Yes. Yep. Right? Yes. Yep. Oh, sorry. Yes, to help with the LGBTQ2 spirited community with regards to maybe having services here that are run by LGBTQ clergy. Yeah. Okay, yep, nursing home services, return to nursing home services. Yep. Spreading the word, yep. Outside these walls, what can we do outside these walls to engage our community?
It bothers me when I'm driving and I see the people on the corners.
Yeah, sorry, Christine.
It really bothers me every day when I'm out driving, because I drive for my job every day, and I see the people standing on the corners that are hungry and wishing they had jobs, wearing their work boots. There's nothing that I can really do for them because I can't really afford to give them funds. And then just this week, I noticed the guy in his tent at the corner of Main Street and 102. I would love to be able to help some of those people that have nowhere to go, no home to live in.
Right, homelessness.
Even though it's a hard thing to do.
It is, yeah, homelessness, yep. Yes, Mary, can you come up and, yep.
Homelessness is something that really eats away at me. And Christine, I'm glad you brought that up, because earlier this year there was an article in the paper, The Spec, about a man who was in a park very close to a residential area. Sometimes he had a tent and sometimes he didn't, because the police came and took every single thing that belonged to him and told him he had to move on. After about the 3rd time, one of the women was quoted, neighbors, a householder in the area, was quoted as saying, why doesn't somebody do something about this? And the first thing I thought of was, okay, so you and all the other people who live close by, what are you doing about it? Are you reaching out to this person and asking what you might do that would be helpful? So in that vein, I'm a real promoter of these, and I know them, but the buildings, the little cabins that the cathedral, tiny
houses.
Tiny, yes. And I think that that would be a wonderful way for us to, especially after the municipal.
Okay, yep, okay. Yep. Yes. Yes. Right, yep. Having a service on the front lawn, yep. I agree. Yep. Anything else? Oop, yep. Nothing wrong at all.
I just wanted to put down a healing ministry, healing prayer and healing perhaps as part of a service once a month, as part of communion and just after communion for anyone that wants to go up for prayer, for healing.
Oh, we're way over. Yep. Okay. Yep, Bob? Right, yep.
And can I say outreach for isolated seniors?
Yes, yep. Okay, Sharon, and then Therese, and then we'll move on to our next part.
The beauty of our liturgy, especially when supported by the music ministry here, is shown off to the advantage of us all in an evensong service. I think the evensong services are lovely, and the beauty of the service will attract people, I'm sure. And so I propose a reintroduction of an occasional evensong.
Thank you. Therese? I can't hear you, sorry.
Reaching out to youth.
Oh, reaching out to youth? Okay.
Reaching out to youth, getting known in the youth community
Right.
in Dundas.
Yep. Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the next part of this. Excuse me. Let's root our aspirations and dreams in a scripture verse from John 8. Then Jesus said to the Jews who had believed in him, you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. Understanding that part of continuing in Jesus' word is our individual spiritual or faith practices, how might we strengthen what we are currently doing as spiritual practices that would deepen our spiritual rhythms, connect us more strongly to continuing in Jesus' word? Just a couple of words. Did you want me to read it again? Okay. Understanding that part of continuing in Jesus' word is our individual spiritual or faith practice. How might we strengthen what we are currently doing as spiritual practices that would deepen our spiritual rhythms, connect us more strongly to continuing in Jesus' word? Group meditation. Yep.
And this would be a place where the small group studies would fit.
That's right. Yep. Yep.
I'm going to take this around for people to
Okay. Yep. Thank you. Yep. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, Peter Davidson, yep.
I think there are a lot of resources that are available online as well. I think of Richard Rohr, for example, and the Center for Action and Contemplation. I think we should make those available because there's a lot of really helpful stuff in those places.
Yep. Okay. Anybody else? Anne?
There seems to be, there doesn't seem to be, a great interest in the whole issue of homelessness. Later on this month, there is going to be a meeting conducted by the City of Hamilton where the mayoralty candidates are all meeting to discuss homelessness. So if you haven't heard about that or you would be interested in hearing about that, maybe we can arrange to get you the link to hear more about that.
Okay, thank you. The which? Oh, the e-blast, yes. Yep.
I was just asking to publish that in the e-blast, Anne.
Yep. Yeah, yep, that's true.
Yes, I was sort of thinking the same thing, our e-blast or something. We have a presence out there somewhere where we list that every week. So people wandering back and see what's happening at St. James this week.
That's right, yep, it's very, very important,
Yeah.
yep. Oh, yeah, no, it does get sent out, I believe, is that correct? The e-blast does get sent out to, like by mail, no?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
It's just
sorry.
on computer, yeah.
Oh, okay, just the computer, yeah. So that's an idea to those who don't have a computer, yep, to make sure that it's sent out to them. True, yep.
There was, over the summer, 2 newsletters,
Yeah, I thought so.
information about what's going on at St. James sent out to the 30 or so people that are considered shut-ins.
Yep.
So we did do that over the summer. Maybe it's something to continue ongoing.
Yep.
Sorry, for those that don't get the e-blast is why they got that.
Because they would feel really left out, wouldn't they? Yeah.
Okay, we're running a little behind time, so I'm going to kind of speed this up just a little bit. So what practices might we add or explore that would invite us into the growing edges of our discipleship walk? You might get that by thinking about practices noted on the Adult Faith Formation Snapshot tool and remembering which ones intrigue you or even which ones you feel a little uncomfortable with. So I guess this would be more people who have read the Snapshot tool. If you could maybe give us your thoughts on that.
What is a snapshot tool? What does that mean?
That was what I sent out. I can show you here. Where is that? Oh, I know, it's in the appendages. It's called that's the Snapshot tool.
Okay.
And then there's a glossary that goes along with it.
Okay.
And that was sent out 2 weeks ago, I believe, for this one. And then on Friday, there was a special e-blast for mission, and it included the next 2 snapshot tools for the next 2 sessions. So if you could have a look at that, it may help you familiarize yourself with what will be coming in the next 2 sessions.
Thanks, yeah.
Okay?
I think I did miss it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you, what I can do is after the session, we can run off copies for you so you can take home and you can look at them, okay? Yeah. Okay? Yeah. Yes. The questions? Right. Sorry, Leslie, which? Okay, so the snapshot tool that was sent out 2 weeks ago was with regards to the parish faith formation snapshot tool. The first question is, and it's either you say true for most of us, true for some of us, or not true for most of us. So the first statement was, we are comfortable talking to one another about our faith. The second one is, we are comfortable talking about our personal faith to people who are not parishioners or perhaps not Christians. We can comfortably respond to questions like, why do you believe in God? How has Jesus changed your life? What's the connection between your faith and your participation in church? The next one is, we have a sense of God's presence in our daily lives, the holy in the ordinary. Now, would that be true for most of us, true for some of us, or not true for most of us? So that's just an example. We participate in training about how to tell our faith story. We engage in ongoing faith foundation activities like Bible studies, discussion groups, liturgy writing, intercession writing, mentorship programs, Christian basic courses, Revive, Bishop's Book for Lent, Alpha, etc. We participate regularly in a discussion group focused on the Sunday sermon and/or the Sunday readings. We have a rhythm of reading the Bible and prayer in our daily lives. We participate in activities to deepen and expand our spiritual practices. We live the way of Jesus through care of others, care of God's creation, and justice, action, and advocacy in our neighborhood and the broader world. We are so transformed by God's love and the impact of our community of faith that we readily invite others to share in our worship and activities. We use a spiritual gifts tool to discern and deploy our gifts in ministry. Our generous gift of time, talent, and treasure draws us closer to God, with whom we are always collaborating in new things. Our stewardship focus makes us feel invited to invest our personal resources in God's mission. So that was the first snapshot tool that was sent out, and those were just questions for reflection. As I say, they didn't have to be handed in. We're not going to test you on it. It's just to get you thinking about what the missional action plan is and each step that we're taking in the missional action plan. Okay? Put that over there. Where was I? So I'll just give you a minute to think about what was said.
For myself, I would have to say that I'm not really doing most of these items on this list, that I could stand a lot more development, particularly in areas like discernment, etc.
Yep. I think that's a good answer. Very good answer. Yep. It's hard questions. It's very hard questions to sit down and answer. When I took this course, I asked parishioners if I could send this out to them, and there were many in this congregation who did not feel comfortable with this. They did not feel comfortable with it, and it's understandable. Okay. Yep. Peter.
I remember, back in the 40s and 50s, Charles de Foucauld was a Roman Catholic priest who lived for many, many years among the Bedouin in North Africa at a time during French colonialism. He never made a convert, but his presence made him the one trusted person to whom the Bedouin went when they felt the need to challenge the colonial regime. And he founded a religious order called the Little Brothers of Jesus and the Little Sisters of Jesus. And their method of evangelism was to live in such a way that people asked questions. Why do you do what you do? And they go into the places of greatest need, and they practice hospitality. They refuse to accept money for their hospitality, but they raise all kinds of questions. And so for example, some of the little brothers would wear the pin of their order, and somebody would ask about that. That gave them an excuse to talk about their faith. And some of them went beyond what they supported themselves in factories, and some of them just behaved in such a way that people said, why do you go beyond what you have to do? That gave them an opportunity to talk about their faith. And I think that's probably, that's the question for us. What is there about us that makes people ask, who are you? Why do you do what you do?
Maureen, can you use the microphone, please?
I've been thinking about still thinking about the issue of homelessness, and it's so horrible and it's so real. Could St. James organize a delegation which would be very visible to go to this meeting at the town hall?
Well, that's something that we can put into the parking lot that can be discussed at a later time.
It would make a Christian statement publicly, which is very important.
Right. Yeah, that's something that can be discussed at a later time, I think. Yep, thank you. It's very important, very important. Yep. Okay, I'm going to move on to, as I say, our next question. What might we do that could engage friends or people in the neighborhood in asking questions about our faith practices? That's an interesting question, isn't it? So many of our faith practices are private that it might be hard to imagine what we could do that might intrigue our friends and neighbors. Here are some examples. You might begin walking the outdoor labyrinth in your community, and you readily respond to questions from passerbyers about what you are doing and why. You might be asked why you always say that you can't meet until after 9:30 when people try to book an appointment or meeting, and so you respond that you have committed your early morning to meditation and prayer so that your day feels more rooted in God. Or a neighbor might comment that she really enjoyed the barbecue in your backyard last night, but she's really curious about why you invited person X, whom none of the neighbors know. And you might respond that you're feeling that God is inviting you to be more radically hospitable, to broaden your circle of family and friends. Another possibility is that your parish moves some of your Advent Christmas celebrations outside so people passing can see what you're doing and stop to ask questions which you can answer while you invite them to join you. So, back to the question. What might we do that could engage friends or people in the neighborhood in asking questions about our faith practices? Maureen, can you use the microphone so that those at home can hear you?
Making a stand for good publicly on issues that are very important right now. Not only around the liturgy or attending church or practices, but taking a political stand where we see hardship. And that's why I mentioned a delegation, a very visible verbal delegation.
Right.
I think that would attract people, especially young people.
Invite your neighbors to events that we have at the church.
Right.
Like a good one coming up would be turkey dinner or trivia night. Get people in the building, even just socializing at first with other people can be helpful.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. Inviting people to come to things that we do, but to the two events that you've mentioned, Therese, there is a cost involved. So we maybe need to think about something to which we can invite them, which is free.
Betty has a question, or not a question, but an idea.
I wonder about putting out a flyer in the neighborhood and having an item that we want, for example, for the community dinner. And then perhaps they could ask about the community dinner. Now, we would need this okayed by Christine, so that, by Leslie, so that they would know that it was genuine. I don't know if the menus could be arranged around that, but perhaps there's something that could be done that way,
Right.
so that they feel as if they've contributed and they're going to ask questions about the community dinner. And then, why do we do it? Perhaps that will come later. But I think that's a way of getting the community involved.
Yep. Yep. Thank you. Victoria?
Something we did at Holy Trinity once that could be used and or modified for here is one Saturday we just had a free barbecue for anyone to come and like just to get to know us and make our presence known in the community. You could do like a barbecue, or if you want to expand it even beyond that, if maybe the Association of Dundas Churches, say, rented the community hall and had a community dinner where everyone was welcome, doesn't matter, and something along those lines to get more community involvement.
Yep. Yep. Good idea.
What about hosting something like a games night? People could play cards or board games or whatever and not charge for it. and have something, snacks or something available.
I think we could use our front lawn more. So I would think that we could put one of those book things, where people have books, put that on the front lawn. Brings traffic, makes people a little curious, and we can put some theology books in with them and just some regular reading. Also, I think if we had a board or something where we posted happenings out front, and particularly people might be interested in the community dinners, as Betty was saying, but that people know what we're doing here, and the refugee work. And we had a want list for the refugees or stuff like that, but so that people knew those were things that are ongoing here.
I was thinking about that little book thing and put some tracts in there too. I was also thinking about a bench out there right by the sidewalk for people who are out for their walk. Maybe they get weary, have a seat. And oh, what have they got here? Let's take a look at that. So that would be, I think that would be maybe some good advertising for St. James,
Would be,
Yeah.
Yep.
was something else, but
Jackie?
I've forgotten already.
But every Friday, I sometimes attend something called a fireside, and it's for the Baha'i faith. And they have speakers talking about anything from Aboriginal to passing and grief to many different things. And I find that very helpful. The other thing I wondered is because we have so many teachers in this group, I'd love to see us outreach to young kids that are having trouble in school, and we could offer some tutoring. And when you do something with someone, then it gives you a chance to talk about why you're doing this. That's what happened when I worked in job readiness. And it's the same with the dinners, too. Once you're giving somebody something they need, then you get the chance to open up and talk about that, too.
I think in many of these initiatives, we would need to be a little bit proactive because people don't always ask questions. And I think that's something we need to be aware of. And how do we then open up the subject of we're acting out of faith, and that's why we're doing this.
It's a very old idea, I think, and I think it used to be called beating the parish boundaries.
I know.
I know in a few churches that my husband and I were at, usually on a, say, Palm Sunday, we would either before the service or after the service, as a congregation, we would go out with our palm branches, our banners, etc., singing, but we would go around the churches, say the block or two around the church, and invite our neighbors to join the procession as well. Just an idea. I don't think it has to be a Palm Sunday, but it's some idea of creating more visibility of who and what we are.
Okay, I think, we were like 50 minutes over what we were supposed to be. But no, really good ideas. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So I'm going to ask 4 more questions with regards to this last discussion that we've had. I'm going to say, in which of these ideas do you most clearly see or feel the presence of God? Can you look at the list and just, I know it's, for some it may be hard. If you want to come up and have a look at the list again, and there's markers up there, and just put like a mark beside it. Yeah.
Do you want me to read them out? Okay.
Pardon? Okay. Yep. Okay.
Oh, that's good, yeah. So the question is, how can we bring friends, family, community, neighborhood to engage faith practices? And we were talking about how can we talk to people about our faith?
Right.
So, taking public stand on issues.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Invite others to events, non-worship events. Invite others to non-worship events. Consider free events.
Seven. Yep. Sorry? You can put them up, as many times. Yep.
7. Involvement in community dinners.
18.
So the next one's kind of similar, barbecue/community dinner.
Like outdoor, inviting, our neighbors. Yep.
Okay, yeah. All right.
This one, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, sorry. Sorry. We should be sitting over there. No.
Game night, where people could be invited to and not have to pay. I think somebody mentioned that.
Yep. 5.
Better use of the front lawn.
21, 22, 23, sorry, 23.
Have a little library out the front lawn.
17.
Have an info board out there for St. James information or whatever.
18.
Have a bench out there. Yeah. Yeah.
18.
No. Tutoring. Do tutoring. That was to do with children who were having trouble in school.
11.
Yeah, that's right. Have fireside events. Fireside events. Oh, yeah, speakers. Have speakers in. Yeah. Speaker events.
Yeah, speaker events.
Yeah.
Yeah. 6, 7, 8, 9.
And a procession in the neighborhood. And that could be quite varied. Yeah.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14. Yep. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the 4 main initiatives, the 4, my mind just went blank. The 4 that have the most hands up, and we'll carry that off into our final session. When we have our 4th session, then we can wrap everything up. So, okay? So, yes.
I just want you to restate your question that led to this discussion, because what Carol read out is not what I heard you say about God's presence in some of these issues and whatnot. So I'm a little confused about all of these things are great things. How do they tie into your question? Could you repeat it?
Okay. This is about engaging friends or people in the neighborhood with regards to faith practices. Oh, yes, sorry. Okay, sorry. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and yes, and Leslie mentioned that
Yeah.
when we were just
Sorry.
starting.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Sorry, my fault. So, yep. Okay. Honest, the next one will go better. Honest. Yes.
No, I'm just following up from what Irene has said. If you're talking about feeling God's presence or the sense of holiness, it's hard to avoid the liturgy.
Right. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, can I ask someone to please do the closing prayer? Please. Thank you. Yep.
Loving God, we give thanks for our time together, for careful listening to one another and to the Spirit, for hopes and aspirations for learning more deeply into the way, leaning more deeply into the way of Jesus, for intentions around developing habits and rhythms that will bring us closer to you. Bless us as we leave this gathering empowered by our longing, strengthened by our common life in you, and eager to be your presence in the world.
Thank you all for coming. Next time, I promise it'll be a little shorter. We did go over, quite a bit, but that was a really good discussion. A lot of really good ideas came up. Could you please, if at all possible, read the next two snapshot tools so we can, understand the next two sessions that we're going to have. And if there's anybody who needs the next two snapshot tools printed out, please come and see me, and we'll get those printed out for you in the office. Okay? Yep. Now there's food in the Dundas room, so please go and help yourself.
You did a great job.
Oh my God.
It's only 30 minutes over.
No, we're an hour over.
No, we started at 11:30.
Oh, sorry. Yes, that's true.
We're only 30 minutes over, Barry.
Okay.
And St. James was never going to do it in the amount of time, so you were only a little bit over. You're
have printed copies of what is needed for the following week.
Right.
Available at the Sunday.
But yeah, you're only 30 minutes over.
Okay, I thought it was. Also, if anybody needs any information for the adult formation resort, I have sheets of resources that you can look at. There's all kinds of stuff here, so if you would like a copy of this. Yep, there you go, yep. And then just let me know who also needs the snapshot tools, and we'll get those. I'll just go in, actually just go into the Dundas room, I'll print a bunch off, and then have them there for you.